right, everyone. So let's get started. First of all, I want to welcome all of my attendees. Welcome everyone to today's session. I'm your host, Miss Mary, or Coach Mary. Just one second. Because I had an echo, so now it's fine. All right. So again, welcome everyone. Just a few or a very brief introduction about myself. I'm welcoming also everyone who just joined to the session. Welcome everyone. So I'm a language acquisition specialist, right? And all I do is teaching strategies, not only the skills. And when it comes to the IELTS, I've been TESOL certified for 8 years. So I really care about the whole process when it comes to your preparation for the IELTS. We have Maram also, our manager in the office. So let's get started. Okay. Just to like smoothly start, everybody know what an IELTS exam stands for, right? So it stands for the International English Language Testing System. And what are the type of IELTS candidates? We have the academic and we have the general type. Now, we all know why we are taking the IELTS. So it depends on your situation. If you are going for anything that has or related to your education, it is the academic test that it acquires. And the general test is for basically everything else that is not related pretty much to your education advancements. So work, immigration could be, and so on. All right, so this is just to start up. Computerized IELTS versus paper-based IELTS. The difference is in the result, okay, and the venue. So you have different venues when it comes to the computer, as well as the tools that you will use in the exam. You will use a computer, while the other you will use a paper.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Asma.
Yes, hi, Asma.
How are
Can
you?
you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, welcome to today's session. So
welcome you too.
Yeah, so as I said, yeah, it depends also on the computer literacy. So if you are good at typing and you think it's your really your strength point, then you can basically go with the computer IELTS. The computer IELTS, it takes also a lot of consideration when it comes to, as I said, the way that you type and how fast you are.
Yeah.
All right. Now, the results are in 3 to 5 days when it comes to a computerized IELTS, and the other will take about 2 weeks maximum. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna ask you guys to be on mute, please, because I can hear myself twice.
2 week or 3 week?
You mean the results for the IELTS?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's maximum 13 days, so it's about a week, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
So, guys, if you have any questions regarding the, anything that I said, please note it down on the chat, okay? And after class, we go through all the question and I will listen to you guys. But for now, because we are live streaming as well on, different platform, so it's better that we mute and then at the end we go with the questions. All right,
All right.
so please mute yourself.
Okay.
Right. So when it comes to the number of questions, time duration, the marking, the question styles, everything is exactly the same. Okay, so
Okay.
sorry, I just muted you because I can hear myself twice. Okay, all right. So when it comes to the registration part, you have, as you know, you'd register as in the British Council or the IDP. And then you select the date, you submit your documents, your passport, and etc. You secure your place by basically it's either the credit card or you can do transfer before 3 days before, and the confirmation. Okay. Okay. Now, as you all know, we said there's two types of IELTS, the general and the academic. They are the same when it comes to the listening exam and the speaking exam. The only difference is basically the general reading exam. It is more about everyday life situations, or the resources that they take from is different, like newspapers and things that is all a bit different than the academic, because the academic, they go really with researching and more in academic resources. Okay. And then when it comes to your writing as a general training or GT candidate, there's two tasks. The first one is your letter or the email, which is 150 to 250 words. And there is also your task 2. There's 250 and plus. Okay, so task 2 is an essay about a topic that is very specific, and it needs preparation, okay, before you start writing. Okay, the speaking part's 3 parts. The first one, as you can tell, which I will go through all of them, but I'm just giving you a brief before we get into all the details in each section. But the last one is your speaking exam. You have about 14 minutes to complete. The first one is an introduction about yourself, your hobbies, where do you live, what do you do, where you're taking the IELTS, and etc. And then it will be your cue card, and at the end it will be your freestyle or a conversation between you and your examiner. Now let's go into depth when it comes to the sections of your exams. So the first section is, or the first module is your listening module. The listening module have 30 minutes as the examination part, and then you have 10 minutes to transfer. In the 30 minutes, you will have to listen to different types of recordings. The first one, as you can see right here, is about a general and an everyday topic. And you will listen to a conversation between 2 people, right? So it's going to be a very casual type of situation. The next part, or the next section in the listening module, is the general everyday topic. Again, general, right? This time you will listen to 1 person speaking. The next part, 3 and 4, the next parts is going to be academic. So 3 is going to be a conversation between 2, 3, or 4 people. And it's always, you will get some sort of educational background. So they're going to be like a student talking to another student, a student talking to a professor, you might get, for example, a professor and 2 students, right? So it's always related to an academic setting, and it's a conversation between 2 to 4 people. Okay. The fourth one is what do we call it? The lecture. It's one person speaking about a very specific topic. And here, you guys, the majority of people lose a lot of points. Okay. Now, at the beginning, it's going to be slow. And when you go to the other sections, it's going to be a bit faster and a tiny bit more challenging. Okay, so they can make some tricks that I will tell you about during the course. But in general, this is how you will see it. So it's going to get a bit faster during your examination period. Okay. So this one, as I said, they lose a lot of points because it's regarding, they have a special language that I will teach you or teach my students how they can take advantage of that language, and I'll prepare them so they can get high score when it comes to section 4. Okay. Next, the reading module. Now, we said it's pretty much very similar when it comes to the timing, the amount of questions between the GT and the A academic training, which is the AT students. They both will have 3 reading passages. The academic passages tend to be a bit longer, okay? But it doesn't change when it comes to the question types, the same question types for both. So the type of text when it comes to your GT training is, you say in section 1, it has 2 or 3 short factual texts. In section 2, it will have 2 short work-related factual texts. And then in section 3, okay, it contains 1 longer text on a topic of general interest. And usually this one is a bit longer than the others. So both of them, the AT and the GT, as a resource I'm talking about, they are both real publishings, and they come from real books, handbooks, official documents, as I said, newspapers, journals, and etc. Okay. Then we've got your writing. The writing is basically, when it comes to the timing, again, it's the same. And task 1 is different between the AT and the GT. The GT will have the, the email or the letter, and the task 1 for the academic, they will analyze a picture or a graph. Task 2 is the same for both. Okay, so in general, task 2 is all about the essay, and task 2 is 60% of the weight when it comes to your writing score. Okay, so the speaking, we said part 1, we will have just, easygoing, just get to know you type of questions. So these questions are like, what's your name? Can I see your identifications? Where do you live? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? Where you're taking the exam, for example? Do you have a family? Do you have traditions? What are your hobbies? Do you prefer a specific type of food, and etc. Okay, do you like traveling? Blah, blah, blah. So it's just like you are getting to know a person, right? And part 2, you'll have a specific card in front of you, either on a paper or on the screen. You'll have 1 to maximum 2 minutes to write down any notes, and you prepare yourself, and then you start speaking until the examiner stops you. In part 3, you'll have a discussion between you and the examiner about, usually it's related to part 2, okay? So it's hard to predict what are the type of questions that you will get in part 3. However, there is a pattern, okay, that we will go through, and I will teach you these patterns and how basically to answer the questions. So everything is pretty clear when it comes to your speaking. Okay, generally, all my students, they do really well in the speaking parts, but I really need you to know that I have everything that you need for your preparation, okay? And I'll talk about that later on. To just take it as a note to improve your output, which is your writing and your speaking, which is your output. You have to work on your input, which is what you read and what you listen to. Okay, so they are like a system that you have to work on. It doesn't mean that you are really good at reading and you comprehend. That's okay, it's a good part, but you need to work on that so your speaking and your writing can get better. Okay, now let's go to the other thing that you need to know. Psychologically, when you want to start something or you want to study something, you really need to understand what type of learner you are, or what is your learning style. You might have one, or you might have two, or you have three of these type of learning, okay? And the idea right here is that the best way that you think that you can take notes. Is it by, taking a picture, or writing it down, or you like really to hear it back, so you can, it's better that you record as well the classes. If you are a tactical learner, it's good that you, for example, when you review for the class material, or you are studying, that you are doing that in a way, or you change the place that you are studying in, because they relate the place to what they have in their surrounding. So as you can tell, the visual learner is somebody who really cares about the visual, everything that they can see. When you are a visual learner, it's better that you watch and you visualize and you try to write down in colors, okay? Colors are really important to these type of learners. Of course, there's negative sides and weakness for each learner, but you try to take whatever is best for you. And then the reading, writing, taking notes is the way that they can retrain information, okay? I'll also talk about next class how you can, because there's a different way that you need to know as well. When you're studying for an exam for a very short period of time, you tend to forget, right? And there is a specific methodologies that I will teach you, so you will not forget what you have studied for, okay? And that will come in tomorrow's class, okay? So tomorrow's class is all about the strategies when it comes to the listening, and as well as your studying for the whole IELTS, okay? I have a study plan for you. Everything is set, like you're ready for everything. It's just that I need you to also understand how you can utilize your time as well. Okay, now the auditory learner, they need to listen to the information. Sometimes they like to listen to themselves, record themselves saying that, or Also, audiobooks can help them a lot when it comes to the IELTS. Listening to the radio while they have, driving or they have things to do. Those type of learners needs to re-listen to the class. So make sure that you record the class, as I said. The tactile learner, they always have something with them. So they might be visual and tactile. And tactile means that they need to do something to remember it, okay? So the things that they do, okay, whatever they do, they remember. So they like to experiment things. If you remember in school, if the experiment is in front of them, they tend to remember that better than the other informations, okay? So that's for the IELTS. They need to really try to do, for example, different things at the same time, but not so different. They have to try in different places in the house, for example. Every day they have to do, like, something while they are studying, okay? They tend to remember that this way, okay? Okay, now the workshop that we're gonna do, or we will work on, it begins with assessing your abilities. What that means is I have to do a gap analysis for each student, okay? It's like my own input for the class. And it's very beneficial for you. In the gap analysis, you will see what's your level, but not that. I don't like, it's okay if you know what's your level. You might know already what's your level. What matters for me is I give you the report that will tell you what you need to improve your level, okay? So if you are, so there's 6 levels, okay? It starts with A1, A2, and then it goes from B1, B2, and C1, C2, okay? So A1 and A2, they are very basic learners. B1 and B2, they are intermediate, and C1, C2, they are advanced, okay? In the report, you will get exactly what, for example, grammar lessons you need. What do you need to work on in order to improve your level? Okay, so that being said, if you aim, for example, to get a 7, that means you need a B2. You need to be at a B2 level, all right? In the report, you will see exactly where you are, what you need to get to B2 as, lessons, okay? So what do you need to work on? And then, of course, time management strategies when it comes to the exam, how we answer the questions, what are the strategies, and always in each module, because there's 4 modules, we start, for example, we have the listening, and then we got the reading, and then the writing and the speaking. For the listening, the first class is about the strategy. And after that strategy class, we have to implement these strategies, okay, in order to succeed, and we know how to go through all the question types. The other thing that I want to tell you guys, that we have as well the skill practices, okay? The skill practices are really crucial before you take the actual IELTS exam or the IELTS, practice question. So, for example, if you're doing a true, false, not given type of question, it's really there is a specific type of skill practice we do in class in order that you as a student, you want to be confused between a false and a not given answer. Okay, so that skill practices, it helps you to understand better the practice that we will do together. So Of course, language mythologies when it comes to your preparation. The other thing we have the daily plan. Okay, there is a plan day by day you have to work on. Okay, the plan is for 28 days. Okay, and it tells you exactly what do you have to do at day 1 and what do you have to do in day 2 when it comes to your listening prep, your reading prep, your speaking prep, and your writing prep. Okay, and also you will have as well the study planner and the vocabulary tracker. Okay, because there you have to work on your vocabulary as well. I will tell you exactly how to study for your vocabulary and what you need to do and what application you need to use for that and the strategy and so on. But at the same time, you have to be consistent when it comes to your vocabulary. Okay. And the IELTS 28 days tracker, 28 days study plan, sorry, it's based on, themes, okay? So you have to also consist every week as a theme, and based on that, you work on your vocabulary, okay? And those are general topics on the IELTS, okay? So it makes everything easier for you. I will guide you through everything, but you really need to take everything seriously, okay? And because it depends on a lot of things, okay? It depends on your future, on your whatever you plan for. So you have to find the motivation as well within yourself, okay? I try to motivate students and guide them throughout the course, but also you need to find your motivation when you want to review for the class material. Of course, the resources, we have free books for each unit, and we have the IELTS prep guide for your review as well when you are studying to improve your level. Okay, it has also everything that has to do with the speaking and the writing. Okay. Okay, now I'll start with the first unit today. So again, today's unit is about the listening, since in the curriculum, we're using the Cambridge curriculum. I'll start with the listening and then the reading, as I said, speaking, writing. All right. We've already spoke about what you will expect and what type of exams. In the listening, there is 40 questions and 4 sections. Your time management skills are important in the listening and strategies that will teach you. So tomorrow I will go through how and what to expect when you're listening exactly in details and how the recording works and all of that. There is a lot of questions that we will work on, and the listening is one of those are an example of type of questions, okay? But there is about 6 to 8 type of questions. And in the module, we will structure them based on the assessment, okay? The next thing is the reading. There is 10 type of questions when it comes to the reading, okay? Task 1, when it comes to the letter, there is a lot of things that we will work on and talk about. Task 2, the essay part, there's a lot of details, okay? So, but those are in the end. And then the speaking module, of course, I'll give you everything that, because a lot of people are scared of section 2 and section 3, everything that you need to do in either section 1, 2, or 3. I have everything already planned for you, okay? Okay, now let's get started. I'll just take a 2 seconds pause and start. All right, let's get started. So, what IELTS listening test designed to assist? It's important before we start any module to understand the assessment criteria that they are expecting. So it helps us to study and prepare for the exam. So the first thing is you will listen to a lot of recordings, right? And specifically in section 1 and section 3, but in general, all of them, the hint or the secret here is all about understanding from the beginning the instructions and really understand the main idea of the speaker. Here is just an example. This exercise we will do together, okay? And you need to listen to the main idea. So it's a phone conversation, okay? And as we said, since it's a conversation, it's about section 1 and section 3, right? So we said section 1 is a conversation, a general topic. Section 2, we said it's a monologue, which is one person speaking, general topic. Section 3, we said it's an academic, okay, conversation. And section 4, it's a monologue, academic monologue. Okay, so one person speaking or lecture. We'll listen to that together, right? And I need you just to answer, why is the woman phoning? Okay. Just please let me know if the voice is clear. I'll start.
You will hear part of a telephone conversation between a man and a woman. Appliances.
Just 1 second. I have to remove the voice cancellation or the noise cancellation.
You will hear part of a telephone conversation between a man and a woman. Hello, Western Appliances.
Good morning. I'm looking for a second-hand washing machine, and I was wondering if you could help me.
Well, if you'd phoned last year, I could have sold you one. But I'm afraid we only recently decided to sell just new products.
Oh, that's a pity.
All right. So, why was the woman calling? Who can get the main idea? What is she inquiring about? Is it a new washing machine? Or a second-hand washing machine? Or have her washing machine repaired? I gotta check. Okay, we have Zimam Jafal looking for a washing machine secondhand. Yes, exactly. So she's looking for to buy a secondhand washing machine. Great job, indeed. Okay. Now with the next one, just the next assessment criteria they're looking for in the exam is your ability to listen to factual information. And you need to practice that every time you listen to whatever English conversation. Factual information could be in all the 4 sections of the IELTS, and they can be phone numbers, for example, a name, address, etc. Okay, so any specific information that you need to catch from the listening recording. Okay, this practice we'll do together. there is a phone number. Okay, so you just need to catch the phone number from the recording. Okay, sometimes they repeat it, usually they repeat it, okay, on the IELTS exam. But let's try to catch it from the beginning, okay, from the first time.
A telephone conversation between a man and a woman.
Hello, Western Appliances.
Good morning. I'm looking for a second-hand washing machine, and I was wondering if you could help me.
Well, if you'd phoned last year, I could have sold you one. But I'm afraid we only recently decided to sell just new products.
Oh, that's a pity. Do you know of anywhere else that might be able to help me?
Well, I can give you the name of the shop that bought our stock off us. Actually, I have their number. Do you have a pen?
Yes. Wait a minute. Okay.
Right. The place is called Harry's Used Appliances, and the number is 074451 6210.
Okay, can I read it back to you?
Yeah,
That's 074451 6210.
that's right. Hope they'll be able to help you.
Yes, so do I. Thank you.
No trouble. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So who got the phone number? Let's see, there's also a chat here because some people, they cannot maybe talk. Okay. 0744.
5.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
As if you,
074451610.
6. After the 6, what do you got?
10.
There's another number, yeah. 6210.
Okay.
Okay. So close enough. Great job. Okay. Now, as you can tell, they can repeat it, okay, but try to always catch the factual information from the first time. Sometimes they do some tricks in the IELTS, like changing a number, or sometimes they might miss a number. Say, oh, I just you know, the speaker can say, I just missed the number. I'm gonna repeat it again, but he will add a number or remove a number, right? So this type of tricks also happens a lot in the IELTS listening. Now we said section 1, section 3, it's a conversation, right? So in all the conversations, there is many speakers, or sometimes 2 speakers. In section 3, there is more than that. It's important that we imagine the speakers, not only listen, but imagine, okay, the voices, because you might have different voices and different names. You have to imagine the conversation in front of you and understand the opinions and the ideas, okay? Sometimes they might transmit or give you an idea about, for example, might not say no, but they might say they are not comfortable. Okay, so just or I see, or you know, these expressions. That's what I mean. Okay, there's also another thing that in conversations you might get also more in section 3. It could be a problem-solving type of solution. There's a problem and there is a solution. So in this exercise, we'll listen to a recording. We need to find the problem and what was the solution in the recording. Okay.
Okay.
I'll start right now.
Different parts of the project between ourselves.
Hang on. Sorry to break your flow, but I need some time to read over the notes before we do anything else.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot you were sick for that lecture. You know, the problem is we really need to decide on our roles now. It's only, 3 days until the deadline.
That's right. Well, did you see the lecture?
Yes, it was so interesting.
Do you think you can tell me what it was about? Will it take you long if you do it now?
That's a good idea. Then we'll draw up a plan.
Okay, so in the listening, all the recordings are played once only. So you just have to take that in consideration. But if you're practicing just for a specific period of, like, you know, your first recording, your first exam practice, you can, you know, re-listen to it, but honestly, try to listen to it once, okay, when you're practicing. Okay, the problem was, so there's two speakers, right? Bob and Anne, which is the male voice and the female voice, okay? And they have different ideas about how to start making the project plan. So they need to do a project plan. That is the problem. So before they start doing the main problem, and then there's another problem that Bob, which is the male speaker, he was not there at the last class or the last lecture, right? So that is also another problem. So what is the solution here? The solution was that, you can tell. And also there's also, yeah, a problem of the short period of 3 days. So they have to make a plan right away. What they find as a solution, what they did at the end, what did they say? So they both agree to review the lecture before making any plan. So they're gonna review the lecture together, because the male speaker, he was not there, so he doesn't know what happened at the last class, and the plan is connected somehow to the last class. So they're gonna just review quickly the lecture, and then they will draw a plan.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Great. Now, okay, the next one is the academic explanation. This is specifically in section 4, okay? In section 4, there is, as we said, a lecturer or a person, a professor, whatever. And this person speaks in a different type of language. It's a formal language. That formal language have specific words and specific expressions that will lead you throughout the lecture, so you can understand what that lecture trying to give as an information or as points, okay? And generally speaking, this type of, which is section 4, they come with a specific type of question called the note completion, okay? So it's important to realize and understand this formal language before you go throughout the actual note completion task, okay? Let's get to a practice, okay? We do that together. You can do that at your comfort of your own, you know, home. So this one, you'll listen to the recording, and then you'll try to complete the sentence with just one of these options, all right? This is not an IELTS exam for this one, but this is so you can understand better the type of words that you might get in your IELTS section 4, okay? And the type of recordings.
Worried about the safety of genetically modified foods, but on the positive side, these crops may help solve future food shortages caused by increasing population. The reason is that genetically modified crops are quite disease resistant and able to grow in harsh environments. They can therefore produce larger harvests than normal crops.
So for this one, you can realize that they said that generally modified crops, they grow better than normal crops because they can feed more people than normal crops, okay? Now, what we realized from here is that in IELTS, there's a lot of paraphrasing. And in your listening, you do not expect that whatever you're gonna listen is exactly what you see in front of you. So the fact that you need to paraphrase, okay, is very important. That being said, paraphrase could be, you know, synonyms, or could be in different words that also have the same meaning. It also could be a different grammar structure from like passive to active, or from active voice to a passive voice. So there is a lot of things when it comes to your IELTS, because you need to work on a daily basis on your paraphrase. So on the recording is going to be something, and on the paper is going to be something that is paraphrased of what they said. So it is a different words that have similar ideas and meanings that they're recording. Okay, so it's also the same thing when it comes to your reading. It's important also to paraphrase in both of the other modules as well, so the speaking and also your writing. So in a daily basis, you need to paraphrase sentences, okay? So you see sentences and you try to paraphrase, how would I approach that sentence? How would I talk about this, okay? Okay, so try to work on the paraphrase on a. All right. Again, as I said, the responses and the attitude, it could be sometimes as an expression, how they feel, how they think about an issue. And just to give you an example here, we have in this recording, basically Mark, he's talking about Dr. Smith's lecture. And you need just to understand how he feels, how he thinks, what is his attitude and opinion about the lecture. Okay, let's do that.
Hi, Joan. How's your assignment going?
Well, I think it's good, thanks to that lecture material from Dr. Smith.
I couldn't see any relevance to it, actually, so I left it out.
Well, I thought the part about Max Planck's theory was really useful. I included a lot of detail about his experiments.
So as you can see, he says the expression, I couldn't see any relevance to it. Or, I you know how the voice was. So I couldn't see any relevance to it. So the answer is, I have an answer here, valuable. What do you guys think of the ma'am answer? Think together, okay? So think out loud for the class. All right. So is it too detailed and important? He said, I couldn't see any relevance to it, which means that to him, the material was unimportant, okay? All right, so this is just also how he was expressing or feeling about the issue, okay?
Answer C.
Yeah, answer is C.
Okay.
Now,